Hey gang, so this right here, is a move that I have seen quite a number of three-poi spinners doing, but I didn't actually have the pieces put together in my head until comparatively recently. This, of course, is a three-poi thread the needle, which absolutely broke my brain because I could not for the life of me figure out where each of the planes needed to go. And to be honest with you, it's still very confusing to me, but I will guide you through it as best I can. The biggest thing you need to have in playing around with this is a one-handed extension versus cateye, like so. I did a video on it quite some time ago, and it's a really essential part to this process, not the least of which being because as you're performing a butterfly with one hand, it's inevitable as that hand is moving around that one of those poi has to turn into a cateye, right? It doesn't have to turn into a particularly large cateye, but just so long as you can do this in a way that keeps it relatively stable, right? Now, as I'm doing this, the question then becomes, how do I get my other hand involved? And the biggest trick that I've found to doing this actually is to be able to get it past your non-dominant hand, right? So for example, as I'm moving the poi backwards and forwards, performing that cateye, I also have to do it in such a way that it's not going to hit my other hand in the process. Because of course, I will have this moment, boom, when the other hand has to be right next to it, but it will be passing before it. The best I can tell you on that is, unlike a conventional thread the needle, where you can pretty much keep your hands exactly where they are, what I'm finding is you have to use really wide sweeping motions to kind of separate your hands in between each of the strokes, like this. One of the ways that we use to learn thread the needle is to actually start with these big wide hand circles and switch which hand is on top each time. This is also a great technique for learning this particular variation on the thread the needle. Not the least which, because when your arms separate out like that, it creates plenty of room for that pinky end poi to be coming through, right? Now, in terms of timing, you want to try and make sure that you have the poi crossing around each other in such a time that the pinky end on your right hand is at least a little bit behind your non-dominant hand poi as it's coming through the side of its beaten front, like so. Boom, and then boom. I should have my pinky end poi back behind me as that is occurring, because of course those two poi are going to remain parallel, hopefully the entire time, right? And as you can see, I still get tangles out of it. I'm still working on getting my planes cleaner with my pinky end. You can kind of imagine this almost as working like if you wanted to do a thread the needle in together same like this, where I have to inevitably have that pinky end poi coming up in the crook of my elbow as my left hand poi is crossing around in front, right? It's the same exact idea. Think of it as being that you're performing a cateye and then stopping, a cateye and then stopping, a cateye and then stopping. And what you'll find is that rhythm is actually very close to what you eventually arrive at. Wherein, when I have the stopping point, that is when my left hand poi is coming in front, and when I am doing my cateye is when my pinky end poi is coming in front, like so. From there, all it takes is making sure that as you're performing that cateye in a one-handed kind of fashion, that you're doing so in a way that you can keep those planes straight enough so that the pinky end poi doesn't cross into the plane of your left-handed poi. They stay, let me show you this from the side, relatively parallel with your pinky end poi hiding behind your non-dominant hand poi as it passes in front, like so. Yeah? Cool. So let me give you guys some point of view footage of this so you can see for yourself what it looks like to perform it from where you're sitting. Cool. I hope that was helpful. I really enjoyed getting this move down. It was one of those moves that I kind of, for the longest time, was like, how? But it turned out not to be as difficult as I thought. It's mainly a problem with keeping your plane straight more than anything else. So, anyways, hope this helped, and I will see you guys next week with another tech vlog. Peace. This video right here exists thanks to the wonderful support of these folks right here. They found me at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and were kind enough to make a contribution to continue my efforts to create educational flow arts content for people all over the world. If you or someone that you know has learned something from one of the videos that I've put out there, please consider going to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi or DrexFactor.com/support and making a small contribution to helping me continue this effort, putting out educational videos to people the world over and teaching them about the love of flow arts. Thank you in advance.